Let's get the vibes going. Come on. Boom, bump, 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 bump. Let's go. It's a natty. Let's go. The ball is tipped. And there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. You're on your way. Woo! What's going on, everybody? As I'm singing One-Shining Moment, because we're going to be seeing that song at the end of this game. Whoever's going to be the champion, whether it be UConn, whether it be Purdue. One more game to end the season, and then it's a little bit of a lull before we get into college football. I mean, I guess we got baseball, but I digress. Welcome, everybody, to the Breakin Ankles Show. I am the host with the most, point guard of podcast, and self-proclaimed CBB Go himself. It is GunzPicks, and wow, we have ourselves one game, one moment, one time to bet on the 23-24 season one last time. A little reminiscent, a little bit complacent, because this is usually the downtrodden time and you get a little bit of the depression before you get to college football prep. But I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna finish this season strong, as they say. Listen, we went 5-2 in the last in the Final Four. Happy with that. Hit all the bets that we wanted to. We missed out on one particular one with the plus 5.5 with NC State. Did not like the outcome of that one with the last second three from Purdue to kill that spread. But we had a great day overall. Hit the big bets. Of course, Purdue hit with a 3-unit banger. I got one play today. That's it. I got one. I don't like the side at all, so I'm going to be looking at the total. But I do have a future on the line as well, 7-1 and 8-1 on Purdue. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to head just personally, but I can't give it as a regular play because, by God, I have no idea how this is going to finish out here. But let's talk about this game that we got going on. We got Purdue versus UConn, State Farm Stadium, Glendale, Arizona. 9:20 tip. It's going to be late on the East Coast. I guess all of us are going to be staying up to watch this game. Where are these two teams coming from? Let's talk about it. You got UConn, number one offense in the country. 7th in field goal percentage, 42nd in turnover percentage, 13th in offensive rebounding, 69th in three-point percentage, 4th in two-point percentage. They're 88th on the free throw line. Then you got the defense for Purdue, 12th in defensive efficiency, 37th in defending shots, 13th in defensive rebounding, 4th in allowing opponents to the free throw line. Now, the biggest difference in this one, big size advantage in the backcourt with UConn versus this Purdue team. Purdue runs a little bit small, a little bit concerning there on that side as far as the size is concerned. Even though they have Zach Edey, UConn can provide the size. I'll get to that in a second. But you got on the offense here for Purdue, 3rd in offensive efficiency, 13th in field goal percentage. And I just lost my place there. 13th at allowing people to get to the free throw line. They are good at getting to the free throw line. They're 2nd in three-point shooting as well. However, they don't shoot a lot of 3 points. So it's more of quality, not quantity for Purdue. On the defensive side, one of the best defenses in the country is Purdue. 14th in defensive efficiency, 3rd in defending shots, 81st on offensive defensive rebounding, 28th in defending the 3, and 2nd in the country in defending the 2. And this is because they have Klingon inside that is unstoppable around the rim. Purdue wants to score inside. That's pretty much what their game is. They work everything through Edey inside and out. And if Edey's getting doubled or everybody collapsing on him, he kicks it out and lets the guards create. But it's going to be a little bit different task for them because it's not a mismatch inside, especially when you got Klingon in there. Klingon is 7'2". He's long, he's lengthy, he's a great defender inside, and he's going to give Edey some fits today, I think. 2nd ranked in 2-point defense this season, holding their opponents to 43% inside the arc. And that's where Purdue wants to score their points. That is a very difficult situation there for Purdue when a sole source of your offensive production is two things. It's getting to the free throw line and it's making 2-point shots. If they're going to be very one-dimensional shooting threes, this could be a very difficult time there for UConn. Also, UConn is 135th in allowing opponents to the free throw line. So maybe if there's anything that Purdue could do is maybe get to the free throw line and beat them in free throw attempts because they'll make their free throws for sure. I don't know how consistent and effective they're going to be inside the arc. And then you got UConn can match up against Edey with Donovan. Like I said, one of the best post defenders in the country. And there'll be no easy buckets to be earned here for Purdue. And I think this is going to be a much uh, big of a rock fight as I have seen all season between two teams. And then I think they're going to be a little bit more reliant on this one, especially for Purdue. If Edie's going to get trounced in there and banged up with Klingon, who could overpower him in this game, we don't know. They're going to have to rely heavily on the guard play here with Lance Jones and Smith. Those guys are going to have to step up in this big game. And with Jones, he put up double digits in scoring in the last game, and he shot quite well, 44% from three. I think this is one of those situations where if you could find a prop on him, I would probably lean towards the over on his points because I just think I think he's going to have a big game here, especially with Edie probably not going to be as effective as he normally is in these type of games. Also got to look at the trends on this one. 11-3 to the under UConn is when they're a favorite of between 6 and 12 points. They're also 9-1 to the under in the last 10 tournament games. They control the pace. They control the momentum, the tempo. Everything goes through UConn at some point in the game, and primarily majority of the game. Also, got to look at Purdue. Purdue is an under team themselves. They're 4-1 to the under on their games this in this tournament. Also, UConn is 11-0 ATS in the last 11 games in the tournament. I think everybody's been talking about that, but nobody talks about that Purdue has covered every single one of their tournament games as well. That's probably why I don't like the spread on this game, because I don't know who's the stronger team as far as covering the spread. I know UConn is on a tear and they're beating teams by 13 points per game on average. But this is one of those situations I'm ready to jump on the spread on this game. So I'm looking towards the total in here, and I like the under as much as I can because of just what UConn can do defensively. They hold their opponents to 53.5 points per game, and that includes San Diego State, Illinois, Bama. These are teams that they've played, and it's just been consistent on how they played it. Granted, Bama put up 72 points last game, but that was more primarily to the fact that Bama was shooting lights out in the first half, and then you watch them in the second half, and you saw what UConn basketball can do to an offense. Also, top 40 2-point shooting teams. They hold them to 61.3 points per game. UConn also top 50 3-point percentage teams, which Purdue falls in both categories, 63.4 percent points per game given up to their opponents. Also, versus top 10 offensive efficient teams, UConn has held their opponents to 60.2 points per game. The top 10 offensive efficient teams in the country, on average, holds them to 60.2 points per game. That is absolutely remarkable. And that's throwing Bama in there. That's throwing some really big East teams that can score points. Marquette in there, Creighton in there. Those are top 10 teams in offensive efficiency. They got another one here today. That throws Illinois in there as well. I mean, this team just is so effective defensively at any point in the game. It could be they could take a break in the first half. It doesn't matter. They'll still have the lead, and then they'll just dominate you in the second. This is a UConn team. I'm not sure if anybody can stop them. Like I said, Bama scored 72 points versus UConn, but they were lights out the first half, and they were still down by 4. So could you take Purdue at a first half? Maybe, but I don't know. You have to just watch the game all the way through and maybe not even touch the spread. But the total, I think, is the more effective and sharp play on this one. Purdue also only gives up 75 points per game to their opponents in top 10 offensive efficiency. So there's night and day between these two defenses as far as scoring is concerned. Both teams like to play a slow pace as well. You got Purdue 211th in tempo, 244th in average possession length. They're also UConn on the other side, 328th in tempo, 300th in average possession length. So these two teams like to hold the ball all the way down to the shot clock and make an efficient and effective shot, and they want to play at their slow pace. If there's a lean on anything as far as props, I would say probably look at the guards there for Purdue. I would say Jones is probably the best one to be taken on this one, just because I think he's shooting well in that gym right now. He put up 12 to 14 points in that game. He shot well from 3. Smith on the other side went 1 for 9 overall and 1 for 5 for 3. So I don't know if he's going to be. He just doesn't like that type of atmosphere, that type of court, the rim, whatever the case may be. He just wasn't shooting well in that game versus NC State, where Jones was 5 for 12, 4 for 9 for 3. I'd rather take him on a prop as on an over on total points. Where I don't know if it's probably offshore books have these. I know they've gotten rid of a lot of the props on college players. So they're really hard to find. So I would just search around. Probably offshores are your best bet. Edie will have to distribute the ball as well. Like I said, I was like, this is going to be a slow, methodical game. You got two teams that want to control the pace. They want to do a slow type of tempo pace. They match up pretty well with each other. I think the advantage on the backcourt for UConn is their size. But overall, you have UConn that just has the pedigree, right? They've done this before. They've been here before. They've lost a ton of talent from last year's team. They brought they brought back what they could bring back, and then they just are continue business as usual. They're better than ever, and that goes to the coaching of Dan Hurley too. Brian Pater's done an exceptional job. He's got a great team. He has the National Player of the Year and Zach Edey. Zach Edey hasn't met a Klingon yet, and that's a tough one for me to take. I sincerely hope this is a close game and this is going to be come right down to the wire just to make it interesting for the people. But I don't know if that's going to happen here with UConn. UConn is just so methodical in these spots. Tough for me to back Purdue. I do think that I did pick them to win the national championship. However, I am riding a future with it. I just don't know if I'm going to hedge on this one because I just don't trust them, especially when you see the line sitting here at plus 6.5, sevens out there for a team that was the number one overall team in the country before the tournament. But UConn took that over when Purdue lost the first round and second round of the tournament of their conference tournament. Excuse me. But I'm going to go with the total. So the total I'm going to be taking is the under. I got it at 145.5, and it is dropping. It is dropping significantly much. I looked before the show. It's at 43.5. I'm seeing 44. Just shop around. I got 145.5 as the number. That's a 3-unit play for me. I think this is going to be low scoring, like these two teams have been playing. And UConn, if they're going to control the game and control the tempo, control the pace, it's going to be a low scoring game. Maybe even team total under on Purdue at 68.5. I think that's probably what it's set at. And this team just holds this UConn defense just holds teams well below that. So looking for an exciting game, that's for sure. While everybody's watching here on the GunzPicks channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the content that you are watching right now. Just a big thumbs up right there. That's how you can support me and the channel. And then also follow me on all social media platforms at GunzPicks. If you don't know the spelling, you can see it right there. That's the spelling. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and X. So go check those out. But that is all I'm going to be on today is Purdue UConn under 145.5. If I have an extra play in the second half or I see a look, I will post it on X and we'll add plays. Listen, we added the Purdue second half. If you remember, hit that one at a 1.5 unit banger. That was a good addition to the picks. So maybe we have one of those situations today after we watch the first half of this game. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a close one. I hope because having a Purdue future and I had a future yesterday last year with UConn and it hit very easily and effortlessly. I don't know about this one. Oh, this one is a tough one for me. And of Peter, always in the chat, always hanging out, true gun disciple himself. Oh, he says, okay, great analysis. Thanks, Gun. No problem, man. Give him the horn. And of course, Fremont in the building. What it do? Let's go. Give him a gun for that one. All right. Don't have any other games. That's it. I'm going to end it off like that. Let's Purdue, UConn under 145.5. That's a 3-unit special. And if you have any props, I say you go take Jones on the over on his points. I don't know what the points are set at. Maybe go on an offshore book. I don't know where they got college basketball player props, but I do like that as well. And then I do lean Purdue, but I'm not going to take it because that UConn is just a monster. That's going to do it here for the show. Good luck with your bets. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the board. And as always, till next time, till baseball, or actually, we're going to do a draft show. Go check that out. Shark and the Gun is going to be doing a draft show on Wednesday, so check that out. I will post that time when I know what it is. But good luck with your bets. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the board. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang.